I'll say this about the Chicago Bears. It's never boring. It is never boring. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Shane Waldron has been fired. Put out a little 2.5 minute reaction video earlier this morning. I was literally walking out the door, taking my son to daycare. I was like, throw a little short video up real quick before I got to drop him off. But the news has been out. Waldron is out. And just talking about this with our producer, Cullen. Could it be any worse? I mean, when you kept Matt Eberflus, getting the right OC in was critical to pair with Caleb Williams, and Caleb deserves some blame as well. We'll get to all that. But, it goes so bad, you have to fire him 9 games in. And listen, I was one of the ones who wanted Waldron. I'll hand up accountability. That's on me. I'll say this, though. You listen to him talk. I'm not in those interviews. You listen to him at these pressers, which I know we overvalue, whatever, but does that scream leadership to you? I don't know. You're seeing all these reports that he can't command a room. If you can't figure that out in your interview process and your vetting process, that's on you. Man, what an absolute disaster this has been. And Colin, you watched him in Seattle, and I guess where I got caught is I just thought, okay, this guy's called plays for 3 years. Geno has resurged there. Surely Waldron has something to do with that. And clearly, I'm not saying he's as bad as it's looked the last 3 weeks because we saw it look good for a few weeks, but clearly he's not anywhere good enough to help a rookie develop. That's become crystal clear. What a mess. I mean, this is just an absolute mess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, when the Bears first hired Shane Waldron, my initial thought was, hey, don't love the hire, but hey, he's never had a talent, the quarterback level of Caleb Williams, or so we thought. And, maybe, with all this weaponry that they have, with the receivers, the running backs, tight ends, and everything, surely, as long as you're competent, right?
I think I said that at the time. Okay, this should at least be competent. This should at least look like an NFL offense. And we saw glimpses of it. Weeks 4 through 6, but for the vast majority of this year, it has not looked crisp at all. So, what do you guys think? Is this a big enough move, firing Waldron? Because you know where I stand. I would have fired Eberflus too, but yes or no, let me know in the comments below. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just going to add that, look, it deserved to happen. This is the bare minimum move that needed to happen for the Bears team, and listen, we can take solace in the fact that he's gone, but this does not mean that the Bears fans should be satisfied by this move at all. So I think we're all in agreement of that this is a good move, but it should not be the last move. But unfortunately, I don't see another move on the horizon.
Here's my thing, too. It's okay, if you're going to be this franchise that thinks it's immoral or whatever to fire a head coach mid-season, which, one, it's well, you just fired the OC. What's the difference? Okay, fine. But why is Chris Morgan still employed? I mean, the offensive line is a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It just kind of feels all right, we have to do something, so let's just punt Shane Waldron to the curb, which I agree with.
Right.
He should go.
Yeah.
But I don't agree putting all of your issues as a team on this guy.
No.
He hasn't been here the last couple years when the offensive line has been putrid.
Right.
And I get you got injuries, but even when fully healthy, this group hasn't been that good. So it's unfortunate. If you guys want to sound off, get your super chats in. We'll do a mailbag later as well. But we're going to be here as long as you guys want to rock and roll. So we got you guys covered. Do want to tell you guys about our sponsor, Prize Picks. Shout out to Prize Picks. You can get started today. Daily Fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play for just $5 initially. I got a little 2-player entry for this week. I'm sure I'll launch some more. Jaden Daniels, less on his passing yards. Philly's defense has been playing really well recently. I got A.J. Brown more on his receiving yards, 5 to win 15. But again, if you're a new customer, you can get a $50 bonus when you sign up right now at prizepicks.com/CLNS. The code CLNS will get you set up. And once you play for $5, you'll get that $50 sent straight into your account. So take advantage today. Use that link and promo code. Colin's got that in the live chat for you guys. All right, first super chat of the day. Tito, says, man, Flus really trying to save his job. This is his third OC. Other firings under Flus too. How do they not let him go too? Poles starting to piss me off. It's all valid. Now, is Ryan Poles handicapped by the McCaskies? Are they not allowing him to fire a head coach? That's certainly possible. I also do think that Poles likes Matt Eberflus. He's said as much on multiple occasions. So I don't know if this is purely Poles like letting Flus run the show. Like, I mean, I think people are going to be calling for his job in the offseason too. I think that's on the table at this point. So this thing is on the rails. Can you rally the troops and put together a good 60 minutes on Sunday? I would be surprised, but at least you did something. I mean, Thomas Brown, Sean McVay has raved about his leadership. I mean, I don't think that's an empty endorsement. He was McVay's assistant head coach for 2 years with the Rams. That's worth something. I also watched him call plays for 6 games last year in Carolina. Not like it was that impressive. Also didn't have much to work with. You would think there's more in place here, but seems to be player issues here as well. So it's a chaotic situation. I mean, I'll say this, Colin. If they even went 3-5 down the stretch, I'd kind of be impressed. Not to the point where I'd keep this coach,
right.
But I'd be like, well, I mean, as bad as it looked, it felt like 1-7, 0-8 is on the table. But it feels like this thing is it feels like this is the first domino in what's going to be a full overall this offseason.
Yeah.
That's my take.
No, it's the beginning of the end, I feel like. I mean, we were sitting there, going into the bye week, and we were saying, hey, if the Bears really want to, keep on track on the pace they were going, they needed to go 2-1, potentially even 3-0 in this 3-game stretch they just had. And, I mean, to look the way that they did, to regress to the way even worse than they looked the first 3 games of the season. I mean, we'll look at Caleb Williams' numbers later in the show, but, I mean, it's
shocking, to be honest.
It's incredible. Like the fact that it's been that bad and that regressing. DJ Moore's, kind of had some issues. Cole Kmet, he's been MIA for most of the stretch. I mean, DeAndre Swift, there's times he's getting the ball, sometimes he's not. I mean, it's an absolute disaster.
I think the effort's been questionable at times. I mean, both Keenan Allen and Gerald Everett had a blocking opportunity last week where if they lay a block on a play in the flat, it could go for real yards, and they're just lackadaisical. I mean, it's not good, man. It's not good. John, there's no excuse for Flus to be here. The nightmare is they go 4-4 with Brown as OC and use it as an excuse to keep Flus. Typical cheap McCaskey move. Yeah, I mean, there's no real reason to keep Matt Eberflus as the head coach. And, don't tell me, well, who would take over? Sometimes it does not matter. And 2, you could have Thomas Brown take over, although with him calling plays now, I probably wouldn't want that. That's a lot to put on his plate from being the pass game coordinator to then the head coach and the play caller. I would make it Tim Hightower, the special teams coordinator, or John Hoke, the secondary coach. Eric Washington calls the defense, Thomas Brown calls the offense, and then you just run out the season. But, I'm with you. There's no defending Matt Eberflus still being employed. I'm sorry. Don't say, oh, well, the defense. Dude, who cares? And by the way, the defense has been slipping the last couple of weeks. So I'm not impressed with him. He keeps trying to sell us, calling on this culture, this togetherness. We're going to get to it in a minute. Mark Silverman, Sylvie, you guys know him, ESPN Chicago, ESPN 1000. He said that he heard that some veteran players want Caleb Williams benched. You're telling me this team is together if a few players have gone to higher-ups and asked to put Tyson Bagent in the game? Don't sell me on your culture anymore. I don't want to hear it. And I'm not even saying, they're right or wrong for doing that. I'm just saying you can't claim that this team is together if halfway through your number 1 overall picks rookie season you got a few guys requesting for a quarterback change. I mean, that's the opposite of together. It's kind of like when he said the defense was set, calling on the Hail Mary, and they didn't need to take a timeout. Not only was it not set, the opposite was true.
Yeah.
Your key guy, who's considered the last line of defense, is turned around for half of the play, jawing with the crowd. Stop lying to your fan base. No one's buying it anymore.
Yeah.
No one is buying it anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's disrespectful for the Bears fans to even come out with a statement like that. I mean, we mentioned it multiple times just last week and really through this last couple of games. I mean, does this look like a team that's fighting for their coaching staff? Does it look like a team that's fighting for their head coach right now? I mean, it's
Dude,
the
there were a
opposite.
couple plays last week. The Everett one where he just chooses to not. I mean, it's a defensive back, dude. I get you're a receiving tight end. You're probably pissed off you're not getting the ball. If you can't go block a DB on the edge, I'm sorry. That is like you should be inactive the next week. I mean, that is just embarrassing. That sprint out left that Waldron call, which was just an atrocious play call, but it felt like no one even cared about blocking that play. Caleb gets cracked on a play. The Patriots guy has to pick him up and pat him on the head like, hey, man, it's going to be all right. Where the fuck is the offensive line? There's so much evidence that this team is not together. Like, what else do you need to see? Yeah, this head coach is going to figure it out. He's going to rally the troops. Like, come on, man. No one believes that. Dennis, the Chicago kid, Flus hired bad OCs, so they didn't become a head coach. Oh, like take over for him. See, the only reason I'd push back on that, Dennis, is like he knows if it doesn't work, eventually he'll get fired. Now, even like the Bears may take longer than other franchises would, but like Flus, I refuse to believe he's a complete idiot, Colin. If this keeps going down this path, like he's not back next year.
No.
There's just no way.
No chance. So. I mean, to be honest, if this weird kind of just like unwritten rule that the McCaskies have where they don't fire head coaches during the middle of the season, I mean, he'd be gone right now. I think if Eberflus, again, had the reputation that he had, and he was on a different team other than Chicago, I mean, how many other franchises would have fired him by now? I feel like damn near at least over 20 of them. Maybe even 25 plus.
I think most of them would have fired him after last year, even though it was only 2 years in. If other teams came to and I'm writing down some Fire Flus petition signatures, $5 or more to get on the Fire Flus petition, because this petition does not stop just because they fired Shane Waldron. I can promise you that. But I think most franchises would have fired him last year, even though it was only 2 years in, because you're making a change at quarterback. They would have gotten that lined up, and the Bears didn't do that. But especially at this point, like I think you're right, 20-plus teams, he would not be employed today after what's happened the last 3 weeks and considering the first 2 years of his resume. So, yeah, I think that's fair to say. DeJounte Perkins, Vrabel head coach with Lincoln Riley as OC. That's pretty interesting, to be honest. I think that would only happen if Lincoln got fired, Colin. Like, if USC fired Lincoln, because I don't think he would leave. He's making so much money there. He's not going to leave to be an NFL OC. But if they fired him,
right,
maybe he's like, you know what, I'm just going to go to the pros, take a step back. Because being a college OC or an NFL OC compared to any collegiate coach, pretty cushy. You don't have to recruit. You make a lot of money as an NFL coordinator, well over $1 million for most franchises. He knows Caleb.
Yep.
So like he doesn't have to do a lot of homework on who he is as a player. I like the idea of Riley as the OC much more than as the head coach. I put him on my Matt Eberflus replacements list, but he was lower. I wouldn't hate it. I mean, Caleb would like it.
Yeah. I think the interesting part to me about this is, and again, I like both these guys for their respective jobs. I don't know how well they would work together. Vrabel, to me, seems like a no-nonsense.
He's a hard-nosed guy.
Yeah. Not really a lot of power football. Again, would establish a defense, establish a culture, whereas Lincoln, he's more finesse. He's more creative. He's more of a thinker.
I think Lincoln would have to, and I give Cliff a lot of credit for this. If you watch Washington play, they're a creative running attack. Like Jaden, as awesome as Jaden has been, go watch their run game. Like, it's creative. It's physical. I think Lincoln could learn something there from a guy he worked with last year and marry some physical pro concepts into his obviously finesse, spread it out. Like you would have to, he couldn't just bring the exact same offense, obviously, to the NFL. He would have to install some, pro running scheme things into it. But at least he would, like, the relationship with the quarterback would be there immediately. And clearly this thing with Waldron just was not going to work. Just not going to work. D. Jeremiah Warren, thoughts on Drew Petzing as head coach? Had coordinated the offense running pretty well with Murray hurt most of last year, and his offense is a great running game. He's the Cardinals guy, right? Is he the Cardinals?
right?
Let me double check this.
I believe that's right. Drew Petzik.
Yeah, Cardinals. That offense is humming. Now, I think he's young, too. I think he's like 38 years old. That staff is super young. But, again, I'd rather get a guy who's call plays for more years. But if you get an offensive guy, like, I'll be at least somewhat happy almost no matter what. But, yeah, I mean, he's an interesting name. Kyler's never played better. I mean, he looks awesome, especially the last month or so.
Yeah,
and they run the ball really effectively. Colin.
Yeah, I mean, James Conner's getting the action. They're getting Trey Benson involved. I mean, they really haven't even used Marvin Harrison, their first-round pick from this previous draft.
He's had a couple good games, but he's been quiet otherwise.
Yeah, and I mean, their offense is still humming. They have Trey McBride. I mean, he at least, again, it looks like a functional offense, and it looks like something that, can be displayed, I mean, where the Bears haven't. So I'd look at it as an upgrade for sure.
Who we got here? Paleo. Shout out Paleo. Wait, which players want Caleb benched? No idea. Sylvie kind of put out a tweet, and then I have not seen a follow-up. So, I'm not saying he shouldn't have put it out, but you would like. I'll tell you one that you'd probably think is DJ. Clearly, he and Caleb have not been on the same page.
Yeah, there is.
Him and Keenan, Caleb and Keenan seem to get along. They knew each other from L.A. A little bit. I don't think this is a move. I mean, Cole 3 weeks ago went on his show, on his channel with CHGO and said, they were asked, why do you think this offense and this team has staying power right now when they were 4-2? Now, obviously, the last 3 weeks have happened, so maybe he's changed his mind. But he literally pointed to Caleb. He's like, it's hard to not think it's because of this quarterback and how good he's been and how talented he is. So. And Cole just doesn't strike me as I'm going to go above people and want the quarterback bench. But who knows? No idea. Maybe a couple linemen. Although, what do they have to stand on?
Exactly.
I mean, so
seriously,
it feels like a loose report. I don't know. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it more. Oswald, first time super chatter. You also get on the Fireflus petition. Shout out to Oswald Prescott. Oswald.
Shout out to you, man. Feel free to leave a message this time you super chat too. But we appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Michael, what's chances at number one pick again? I think pretty slim. Even if you lose out, it's not guaranteed. I mean, as bad as this has been, I think right now you actually have like the 16th pick, 17th. So, like, there's a lot of traffic. I mean, and think about this too, Colin. Like, the Jags at 2-8, who you beat head-to-head. So you'd have to finish a game behind them. That seems unlikely. Giants at 2-8. Like, are they winning 2 or 3 more games? Are the Titans, who you beat head-to-head, winning 2 or 3? Now, top 5, I think that's on the table. Top 5 picks on the table. Number 1, I don't think it. Even if you lose out, I don't think you'd get it. But chances are, even though the schedule is extremely difficult, you'll probably run into at least 1 win.
Yeah.
That's just the NFL. Are you going to lose 11 in a row to end the season? Now, this is the Bears. Matt Eberflus has already suffered, and this is just another crazy thing. He lost 14 in a row at one point, I believe it was. So it's on the table with this guy, but chances are you'll probably run into a win at some point here.
You would think.
Muhammad. Waldron has been bland, but the firing won't help Caleb's accuracy issues. A lot of missed passes. I don't know what it is, but he's struggling with the deep one. Yeah, I mean, the deep ball's been an issue all year. He's hit a few, but it's been a problem. And, yeah, the accuracy the last few weeks hasn't been great. I think there's some weird route running shit going on. Like, I tweeted out a video that JT O'Sullivan put out. DJ Moore is running like a simple 5-yard out. And when you come out of your break, you just flatten out, go straight to the sideline. He drifts up like 3 yards. If you guys remember that play where Caleb throws that ball low and outside and it like skips to DJ, you're like, what the hell is that? Well, this is why watching the film and diving into the tape and these guys who have been in these rooms and have done that for a living, they get into the nitty-gritty details. Now, I'm not saying it was a great ball or anything, but if that route is flattened out, that's a catchable football. And where DJ ends up, I mean, he's drifted upfield 3 yards. I mean, in a short, quick route like that, Colin, to be that far upfield, that's an awful route. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really is.
Yeah. I mean, it's just lazy route running at the end of the day.
I feel like DJ has been frustrated.
Yep.
and he's let that seep into his play. And you can't do that as a team captain. Like, you're allowed to be frustrated. You're allowed to even think, man, I don't even believe in this quarterback. But you got to keep that shit to yourself, be a professional, and play.
Yeah.
Like, I've defended him, and I still believe in him as a player, and I do think Caleb is struggling. I get he's frustrated, but, like, dude, they just gave you major money. You got voted a team captain. You can't be half-assing routes. Like, It's just unacceptable.
I mean, that's your tape that you're putting out. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, and yes, he did sign an extension there, but if the franchise has to pick which one they'd rather go with, they're picking the...
I mean, if it reached a boiling point, they would trade DJ.
They would.
Like, so, and maybe that's what he wants. I don't know. But hopefully that doesn't happen, because this is a guy that was a big part of that trade with Carolina and was awesome last year, became a leader of this team, and I don't know, seems half checked out at this point. So, Muhammad Omar, you are on the Eberflus petition. We got Brian. It is clear. Oh, Brian, didn't he win the duck race?
Was it him? I have to go back, but it might be.
Brian, go check the watch party stream from Sunday. I think you might have won. At the very end, we do the raffles. If you did, message me on social media at HGramNFL. But he says, it's clear that this team has given up. Not all Caleb's fault, but trust the Bears to fuck up a rookie quarterback. I'd take 250 yards with 2 touchdowns and 2 picks if they let Caleb loose. Yeah, I'm probably going to do a video on this later this week. And a lot of film guys and just people who have reviewed what the Bears have looked like and Caleb has looked like the last couple of weeks, he feels like I saw a tweet, all his misses are safe. Like, if he's going to miss, he's not going to throw a pick. That feels like the Matt Eberflus influence. Not even the Shane Waldron influence, the Matt Eberflus influence, because he basically admitted it when Fields was the quarterback, like, hey, he's just got to take care of the ball. We can't turn it over. And when you just hammer that into a player's head, you're going to be trigger shy. You're not going to be willing. And what has it felt like the last few weeks, Colin? He's holding the ball. Like, he doesn't want to pull the trigger. And I get it, guys half the time aren't open, and maybe he's lost some confidence. But, like, I would rather him go let it rip and throw 3 picks this week than just, like, I'm just going to throw it low and don't turn it over. Like, clearly, like that was never an issue at USC. He let it rip, and guess what? He didn't turn the ball over a lot, throwing picks. He was a low pick guy. So just let him be himself and, go through the ups and downs of being a rookie quarterback. Like, stop trying to neuter these players where you're just trying to play every game so safe and be a field position team, blah, blah, blah. Like, bro, cut the kid loose.
Yeah. No, I mean, 100% agree. And, a lot of the offense the past, 3 weeks has felt like, Caleb trying to take a deep shot, which he hasn't been great at. Again, something that Waldron should have identified and realized, hey, let's go less of this and more intermediate stuff, or the check down routes, or the stuff that's underneath. And, that's just not a sustainable offense. And again, feels robotic, feels forced, and it feels like Caleb just can't play natural and loose and free, and it's been a problem. So hopefully Thomas Brown can unlock some more of that, and I agree, man. I say let it rip this week.
If I'm Thomas Brown today, and I know players are usually out of the building, so if you have to get Caleb on Zoom or whatever, bring him in, go to his house. I think that would be a strong message. Like, hey, Caleb, I'm coming to your house because we need to get this going. I'm sitting down immediately, and I'm saying, Caleb, start letting it rip. And then I'm opening the floor to him. Hey, what do you think you do best right now? And I'm going to design a game plan around that this week, and we will build off of that. You've just got to get this kid comfortable because he's uncomfortable. He is not comfortable, and it's clear. And, it's who knows what would have happened, but I thought it was so gutsy in that fourth quarter against Washington after playing like shit to make some plays and put them in position to win and to take a lead, and then they lose that, and it's like the issues he had in the first 3 quarters continued the next 2 weeks, and if anything got worse. So, they got to install confidence back into this player, and they got to do it immediately, like today. So hopefully they can do that. Brian again says, can we forget the Gerald Everett experiment? Where is Kyle Kmet? You paid him, use him. Yeah, Gerald Everett's just done nothing. I mean, he's useless because he's not a good blocker. they're not throwing him the ball. The few times they have thrown him the ball, he hasn't done anything. I mean, that's been a whiff, been a complete whiff. So, I'm with you, Brian. Dennis, again, does Kerry Joseph get a pass? Starting to think he overcoaches and ruins mechanics. Fields and Williams look like the same player minus the running. I don't think anybody gets a pass.
Yeah.
I do think, Colin, there's this too many cooks in the kitchen thing because you had Shane Waldron, the OC, Kerry Joseph, the quarterback's coach, Thomas Brown, the pass game coordinator, Chris Morgan, the run game coordinator. It's like, it sounded good at the time, like, oh, let's just surround him with all these experienced guys, but maybe it's just too much. Like, this guy's telling me one thing, this guy's telling me someone else. Like, to me, like, whether it's Thomas Brown or Kerry Joseph moving forward as the primary voice to Caleb, keep it that one guy. Like, stop overwhelming this guy with just overload of information.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right on the head. Too many cooks in the kitchen, and it's one of those things where stability, right? I mean, anytime you're new in any profession, whether you're an NFL QB, whether you're a salesman, whatever job you're going into, it's always better if you have the one voice, kind of the hierarchy, and then the trickle down effect of like guys that you can, or whomever, just leading the way. And the Bears have now done this 3 times, 3 consecutive quarterbacks where they've drafted them in the first round. They have a coach or an offensive coordinator that they have in mind, and they're replacing them, shortly into their tenure. And it's not good business, plain and simple.
Yeah, and that's on the Bears. It starts with the McCaskies, but then you get down to Warren and Poles. Like, Poles has said, it's time to change the cycle here. Well, you didn't. You kept Matt Eberflus. If you wanted to change the cycle, you would have lined up Caleb Williams with the new head coach, regardless of who it was. Even if you got the guy wrong, at least you would have changed the cycle. You would have lined it all up. Doesn't mean it would have worked, but at least you would have gone a different path. And you didn't do that. You did the halfway thing. You changed quarterbacks, but you didn't change coaches. And that's just, when you half measures in life don't typically work. They don't typically work. Like, trying to find a analogy for something, but I don't know. Like, if you're running a restaurant and you are just getting no business, people don't like your food, they're leaving Yelp reviews, this food sucks. Yeah. Well, firing the sous chef is probably not changing that. You probably have to fire the head chef, and you probably have to change the menu a little bit as well. And you might have to get new vendors and better ingredients and all the, like, firing some number 2 or 3 is probably not saving it. So, right. I don't know if that's the perfect analogy.
Which, again, the sous chef wasn't good, but it doesn't mean it's going to save the restaurant.
Yeah.
So it's...
Yeah, it doesn't mean you should have kept the sous chef. It just means you should have done more. You should have done more. Dennis, appreciate the super chat. Are we caught up here? All right, we'll continue to answer your questions. Hashtag Bears or super chat. Get your questions on the show. I'm going to dive in more on Waldron's firing and some other news and rumors that have circulated in the last couple of hours. So appreciate everybody that's tuning in, all 1,400 of you. Hit that subscribe button, like the video if you want to support this channel. We're continuing bringing you content, and we've been going live more than ever recently, so we'll continue to bang away here. But all right, here we go. Chicago Bears now on a Shane Waldron fired Tuesday. Let's go ahead and dive on into it. Welcome into Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham. Shane Waldron has been fired as the Bears offensive coordinator. We're going to talk about the whys behind that. Shout out Matt Nagy, the whys. Thomas Brown takes over. We'll kind of take a look into him as well. Can he get this thing going? And this should be concerning. Do some veteran players want Caleb Williams benched? Uh-oh. We're going to talk about it all here on Chicago Bears Now. But listen, this is why you subscribe. If it's good news, bad news, smooth sailing, chaotic, we're bringing you videos every single day here on this channel. So subscribe to Bears Now by Chat Sports. My promise to you is to give you my authentic and real takes on everything surrounding this team for 100% free. All right, Shane Waldron fired. I put up my initial instant reaction earlier this morning, a little 2-minute video. If you want to go catch my raw reaction, you can there. But we'll kind of dive a little deeper here now that I'm in the studio. I don't think you could call this a bigger disaster, because when the Bears decided to change quarterbacks, but they didn't change head coaches, the offensive coordinator hire was paramount for Caleb Williams. And listen, hand up, accountability. I liked the idea of Shane Waldron. I didn't think it'd be a home run. I thought it would be a base hit, a double, because he had 3 years of play calling experience. Their metrics in Seattle were pretty solid. And I was like, okay, I think he can at least do the job. And compared to Luke Getsy, I thought someone who could at least be competent made sense. But then you saw the Jackson Smith and Jigba clip at the Super Bowl with CHGO. You saw his opening press conference where he just looks rattled. You hear reports that he couldn't command the room in Seattle. That started leaking out here in Chicago. And it's such a disaster that 9 games in, you have to fire him. I mean, obviously he had to go. There's no question about that. But it's just like, could it have gone any worse? I don't think it could have gone any worse. I guess if you didn't have that little fun 3-game win streak where Caleb and the offense actually looked good, I guess if that didn't exist, that would be worse. But in general, this could not have gone worse. Because when you kept Matt Eberflus, I think ideally it was like, okay, we're at least going to give this 2 years because if we're changing quarterbacks, we don't want to fire the head coach 1 year in. And now you're probably going to have to do this. This is just a mid-season half measure, right? And Caleb has regressed the last 3 weeks. And when you add up his full season, he's 28th in passer rating. He's 30th in QBR, 32nd in completion percentage. Sack percentage, 33rd. I got news for you. There's only 32 starters. Net yards per attempt, 30th. Like, guys, he's going backwards. And I'm a believer. I'm still a believer. I'm not wavering on that, but you're going to ruin another quarterback. You're going to ruin another quarterback. I mean, it's been a tale of 3 seasons already. 9 games in, it's been a tale of 3 seasons. First 3 games kind of looked like a rookie. Okay, working out the kinks, whatever. Next 3 actually looked pretty awesome. Like, I thought, like, you got your guy. I'm still hopeful, but I just worry that this organization's going to fuck him up because the last 3 games it's been a train wreck. It's been a train wreck, and the passing game issues are just all over the place. Inaccuracy from Caleb, poor concepts from Waldron, bad personnel usage. Where's Cole Kmet? Lazy routes from receivers. O-line is a joke, and they're coached poorly. Why is Chris Morgan still employed? So, yes, Shane Waldron had to go. But, like, it's just, it goes bigger than him is kind of my point. We'll talk about Thomas Brown in a second. Like, is he some antidote to fix all this? That seems unlikely. It's been an absolute disaster since the bye week and really for most of the season. I think we got kind of tricked on that 3-game stretch that, oh, you've turned a corner here. Ever since the Hail Mary in particular, 23 straight drives without an offensive touchdown. I mean, how is that even possible? I don't care if you're playing the fucking 85 Bears defense every week. You should score once out of 23 times. My goodness. Matt Eberflus' statement on firing Waldron. After evaluating our entire operation, I decided it's in the best interest of our team to move in a different direction with the leadership of our offense. This decision was well thought out and one that was conducted deliberately and respectfully. If he had any self-respect, he would fire himself. Now, obviously, he's not going to do that, but Matt Eberflus onto his 3rd offensive coordinator in as many seasons. What do you guys think? Is this a big enough move, like in your eyes? Is firing Shane Waldron enough? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Let us know in the comment section down below. Because to me, and you guys know where I stand, but I'm just going to continue to hammer this home, Matt Eberflus clearly should go as well. What can we point to that would say he should still be the head coach of this team? Think of all the coaching exits that have happened under Flus now. 2 coordinators, Getsy and Waldron, fired. Alan Williams resigned, but there was like crazy rumors there that like the FBI was involved. Like he was going to get fired. They let him resign because he was Flus's guy. Andrew Janocko, the quarterback's coach, fired. Tyke Tolbert, receivers coach, fired. David Walker got fired there was an HR issue. Like what? Where's the control of your staff? Omar Young, who took over for Walker, fired. Assistant tight ends coach Tim Zetz, fired. For some reason, you kept Chris Morgan. He should have been fired more than any of these guys probably. My point is like, why do they keep letting Matt Eberflus take swings? Like, how many coaches is he going to be allowed to hire, promote, whatever, before he realizes he just sucks? He's just not any good. Like, I don't get it, but I have to accept that the McCaskies, I guess, have this noble bullshit where we don't fire a head coach midseason. I don't know if it's like some like fake statistic that they're proud of. Like, you're proud of having to fire your OC 9 games in? Like, that's better? That, to me, that's worse because it's a half measure and you're ruining your quarterback. I just, it's so agonizing to watch the same shit happen over and over again, regardless of who's in charge, regardless that now Kevin Warren's in the building. We were all like, well, that's a curveball. That's a new thing. Well, the same shit's happening. Like, so what's actually new? Nothing. The answer is nothing. And they're going to have a new coaching staff next year. Caleb's going to have to learn a new offense. And we're going to hope and pray that it works. And based on history, it probably will not. More to come, including Thomas Brown taking over as the offensive coordinator. But first, we do have to give some love to our friends over at Prize Picks. Daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS. Join the 10 million users and counting who have signed up and play Prize Picks all the time in North America. It's available in over 30 states. And listen, it's just fun. Are you someone who plays season-long fantasy football? Maybe you had a bad draft. Maybe you've had bad injury luck, whatever the case may be. Well, Prize Picks is daily fantasy. New lineups every day. You can choose different players. It's a lot of fun. To set a lineup, it's really simple. You just pick 2 or more players as long as they're on 2 different teams, and you can cross over sports as well, which is fun. Like if you're a football and basketball fan, you could have Caleb Williams and Zach Levine in your same lineup, which is awesome. You just choose more or less on the stat projections Prize Picks offers, and if you hit on those more or lesses on your entries, 2 to 6 players, you make money. It's very, very simple. I got Jaden Daniels less on his passing yards this week, A.J. Brown more on his receiving yards, 5 to win 15. And if you're a new customer, you'll get a $50 bonus with code CLNS at prizepicks.com/CLNS when you sign up. Once you play for just $5. Just got to play for $5. Doesn't matter. And you will get that $50 bonus. So check it out today. Pick more, pick less. It's Prize Picks. Link and promo code are in the comments and description of this video. All right, coming up. Do veteran players want Caleb Williams benched? One Chicago sports personality said that is the case. That is worrisome. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But let's talk about Thomas Brown. He takes over, and I think I'm going to do a full video on this. Let me know, yes or no, if you want this. Who is Thomas Brown? Kind of a deep dive into his journey to now being the Bears offensive coordinator, at least for the second half of this season. He will get a crack at calling plays. This is just his NFL background. He was the Rams running backs coach in 2020. Sean McVay liked him enough to make him the assistant head coach in 21 while he was still the running backs coach. The next year, he was still the assistant head coach, but he switched from running backs to tight ends. So he's coached different positions. He was a running back for 3 years in the NFL in the late 2000s. He was the Panthers OC last year, called plays for, I think, 6 games. Remember, Frank Reich got fired. The whole thing was a mess. And, the offense didn't look that good with Thomas Brown either. I'm not acting like he did a good job in that regard. But that team was pretty talentless, so I don't know how much we can really take away from that. And now he's the offensive coordinator here after he was serving as the pass game coordinator to start this season. Passing concepts haven't been that good, so, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I will say this. I think from a leadership and command the room standpoint, chances are this will be a major upgrade. I mean, it can't get much worse, right? You listen to Waldron talk, you're like, this guy's inspiring players? No way. The Rams head coach has raved about Thomas Brown's leadership. There's long quotes about it. If I do that video, like I said, I'll put that in there. He made him his assistant head coach 1 year in to knowing him, being his assistant or his running backs coach. So I think that's something when a guy who's highly successful endorses someone else, I take that seriously. Obviously, Sean McVay is a high-level guy and coach, so I think that's worth something. But temper your expectations. I don't think this is some antidote to save the season. You're not going to completely change the playbook. Now, can you change some schematical things? Can you simplify things? Can you work with Caleb and these receivers and say, hey, what are things that we're all good at? Let's focus on that. I think there are things you can do to make this look better, but I'm not going to talk myself into thinking this thing is just going to take off all of a sudden. Should it improve? You would hope so. It's been atrocious the last 3 weeks. Is this going to be some top 10 or even 15 offense? I would doubt it. I think you just hope it gets a little better week by week, and by the end of the season, you at least feel decent about where Caleb Williams is going. Speaking of which, there's a report out there. I'll use report in loose-ish terms, just one tweet from Mark Silverman, Sylvie, who does radio at ESPN 1000, saying that some vet players want Caleb Williams benched. Here's what he had to say. He said, after talking to a few people with knowledge of the situation, players went to Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles asking them to make a change at offensive coordinator. He also added, there have also been a few veteran players requesting that Tyson Bagent starts. If true, that's really bad. Not because, I blame them for thinking the quarterback's just struggling right now, whatever. Not saying it would be an irreversible situation if you made that move. But it's bad in the sense that this team is not together. This culture is not good, despite Matt Eberflus continuing to preach that it is, which is just, I don't want to hear that anymore. And it has to be said. I do not want to hear from Matt Eberflus a single time the rest of this season, however long he's here, rest of the season, one more week, whatever. I don't want to hear about how great the culture is, how the men in that locker room are together. Clearly they are not. Now, I'm not saying there's some protest from a large group to bench Caleb, but I don't know. Is Sylvie throwing that out there without hearing stuff? Clearly, there's internal issues. There are internal issues. And if he plays like shit against the Packers, it would not shock me if they made a change, even if it was just temporarily. And that's even more of a disaster, and that is on the organization for failing this kid. And Caleb, obviously, just like Justin, just like Mitch, all these guys hold blame for how they play. But if you continue to draft young players and they continue to struggle and you mismanage them, it's on you at some point as an organization. But yeah, clearly the culture sucks. And again, which is why is Matt Eberflus here? Why is he in charge? That it makes no sense whatsoever. As far as who those players are, I have no idea. I would guess DJ's one of them. He does not seem to like Caleb. I think that's somewhat clear at this point. Beyond that, I don't know. Could it be some offensive linemen? I don't see what leg they would have to stand on. They've been atrocious. I don't think Cole Kmet would be that guy. Would Keenan? I feel like Caleb and Keenan have got along pretty well from what I've seen. They've known each other since LA times, but I don't know. I would just be guessing. I would guess DJ's one of them. Beyond that, I'm not sure. Would you bench Caleb Williams? What would you do? B for bench, S for start. I would not. I don't think that's a proper move. You're changing coordinators. Can we at least see how it looks like with that coordinator with Caleb? If you were going to bench Caleb, you might as well give Bagent a shot with Waldron for a week. I would not bench him. Now, if he's atrocious for 2-3 more games and he's getting killed, and maybe it's just listen, we just need to protect him a little bit, and you want to sit him, okay, we can cross that bridge when it comes. I'm not sitting there right now, week 10, week 11, saying, hey, you just got to bench this guy. I don't think that's the way to go. All right, a lot going on. The chaos continues at Hallis Hall. We'll see what happens next. We'll be here to cover it all, so subscribe to Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon. All right.
Need to be said. Van Helsing, the Bears make me comfortably numb.
Yeah, I mean, I let my emotion rip after Washington, and there's still emotion, but it's just until you change the coach, it's kind of hard to get emotionally invested. It's everyone knows that what needs to happen except for the Bears. Until they do it, This is what you get. This is what you get. B1, can't help but feel bad for Caleb, number 1 pick, and you're stuck with the Bears. Must be defeating. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shout out First Time Super. Listen, I will put my hand up too. I thought this was a pretty decent, a good situation to walk into. I thought the receivers they surrounded him with. My biggest question, I had 2 questions. 1, Matt Eberflus is the head coach, which clearly I was right on, and so were most of you. And 2, just can the offensive line protect him? Because it didn't feel like they had done enough there. And both of those have been disasters. Now, obviously, Caleb hasn't played as well as I thought he would. Waldron was not a good marriage for him, yada, yada, yada. But, yeah, I mean, you look back and, I don't think there was much merit to those rumors that he would actually refuse to go to the Bears. Clearly, he didn't. But you look at it, you're like, could you have blamed him based on how this has played out so far? I mean, it's been a disaster. Refrigerator. Good news. What about Flus? Still employed. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, he is, let me get big written down here. He is still employed, my guy. But appreciate it, man. All right, Michael. Matt Eberflus gave me hemorrhoids. Until he's gone, I will be pooping in pain. Caleb has too much potential to be wasting time with these bozos. Yeah, that's kind of my point. It's like if you know he's gone, and if the number one important thing is to get your franchise quarterback on track, why would you not just fire him now? Like, I don't get it.
I don't either.
Is this also a first-timer, Steve?
Not Steve, no.
He says, going to the Packers game, kill me, can't sell it. Man. Yell fire Flus for us if it gets ugly. Represent.
Yeah. At this point, it's just...
Yeah, I feel bad for Bears fans who have bought tickets and either A, have sold them, which they probably got less for when they bought them, or B, are putting themselves through the suffering of what could just be... I mean, does anyone think this just OC change, like, I would be surprised. I'm not saying they're going to not try or whatever, but, like, does anyone think the Bears are even going to be competitive on Sunday? I would be shocked. I would be shocked if this was less than 10 points. Point differential. I know you picked them to sweep the Packers, Cullen. Now, you couldn't have envisioned what's happened the last few weeks, but you sticking with it?
We'll give my prediction later in the week. Stay tuned. Today's not the day for
Thomas
that.
Brown's going to sell you. Thomas Brown's going to sell you. Oh, man. What a joke, man. What a joke this thing is. Okay, we'll do a full mailbag segment now with your guys' questions. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat. If you have thoughts on the coaching situation, if you have thoughts on the game this week, if you have thoughts on other changes that should come, get your questions in. We know not everybody can Super Chat, so use hashtag Bears to get in there as well. Obviously, any Super Chats that come through, we will continue to answer those. But the floor is your guys. Get your thoughts across because it's trying times right now for this team. I'm not sure where it goes from here, and I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I'll say this: it's always interesting with this team. And that's a good one, Christian. That is a good one. The fact that that's even possible is unreal.
I'll say this: one made it a full season compared to the other one.
2 seasons.
2 seasons, excuse me.
Now he also got fired midseason with the Raiders.
Well, I guess more than, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Get those questions in.
Dante, we'll get you in that mailbag.
Yep. Get you in the mailbag, sir.
Hashtag Bears or Super Chat.
I feel like if we get a couple more, we should be good.
Jake says, bro, if you're not seeing Caleb as a main issue, you're just a glazer. I think he's an issue. I don't see how you could pin this ineptitude when we've seen it with other quarterbacks, primarily on a rookie 9 games in. He absolutely holds blame. But, we can't just say it's all on him. I mean, that's crazy. If this was year 3, or here's a good example. Let's say they kept Justin Fields, right? You hired Shane Waldron, and the exact same thing happened. Offense looks like shit. Waldron fired 9 games in. Fields would have to carry more blame. Why, Colin? Because it's year fucking 4 as a quarterback. at that point, like, he would have to carry more blame. I can't put the primary blame on the quarterback. He's 9 games in.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to take a percentage of the pie chart. He's not playing well. But, are you going to give the Bears the benefit of the doubt when we've seen this over and over and over and over again? Come on, man. Jake says I'll settle for half. Does Chris Morgan not get in? Where's he on that pie chart? Where's Pauls on that pie chart for not getting a better offensive line? Where's DJ for running out routes that aren't even out routes? Where's Keenan Allen for refusing to block? Where is Gerald Everett for refusing to block? Do any of those guys carry a piece on the pie chart? Any of them? I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. All right. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat. We'll get your questions answered on the show. A couple Super Chats will hit off the rip. Then we'll get this thing rolling. So Derek says all facts. Yeah, and listen, Caleb's clearly on the pie chart. Like, he's not playing good. He said last week, he's like, yeah, accuracy issues are frustrating. I'm not accurate right now. Like, at least he's standing up there and saying it. So, all right, let's get into it. Bears mailbag coming up. FGB Forever says, if the Packers upset the Bears this week, is there, well, it wouldn't be an upset. Is there still a scenario where Matt Eberflus gets fired? Also FGB. I think what you're getting at is, like, let's say the Bears get blown out. Very possible. We've seen it year over year after year after year. This team is reeling. I would be shocked if the Bears kept this within 10 points. Let's say it's at least 17 or more points. 31-14, 38-10, whatever. Say it's just a bloodbath. Like, you're just going to let Matt Eberflus ride this out? Like, I don't see – I get they've never done it, but that would just be embarrassing. To fire the OC, everything looks just as bad, if not worse, from a team standpoint. The defense lets go of the rope. Like, you're just going to let Flus coach the final 7 games? Really? Like, you would allow that? Like, I get the McCaskies. There's no reason to trust them. I'm not going to believe they're going to do it until I see it. But if they get just embarrassed and the whole stadium is booing the team and chanting fire Flus, like, at some point you got to wonder if it's at least a possibility. So if you're on the get rid of Flus immediately train, you should cheer for the Packers to win this game by 50 points. Because if it's close or if the Bears win, clearly they're not going to make a change. But if they get embarrassed, I do wonder if it could be on the table. Listen, the motto doesn't change. It's still Packers week. It's still fuck Green Bay. So get the FGBs going in the comment section down below. Obviously, I want the Bears to beat the Packers, but I just don't see how that's even a possibility. John T. All right, do you think DJ will stop being a baby now after the Waldron firing? I don't know. I've defended DJ. It's kind of hard to continue to. I still think he's a good player. But there's multiple examples where anybody who doesn't even really understand the details of football, where there's lazy routes and there's just frustration, and I get he's frustrated. Him and Caleb are on the same page. He clearly does not like Caleb. I mean, I think that's kind of obvious at this point. Now, can that change? Hopefully. But when you run a simple 5-yard out route and you're drifting 3 yards upfield, I mean, it's just lazy. It's just bad technique. So I don't know. Is he one of the players who went to the Eberflus and Poles and said bench Caleb? If that actually happened, I would guess he was one of those players, which that's disappointing in him as a leader. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes from here. Michael with the 5. Do you think the team quit more on Flus or Shane now that there's a chance in OC? Do you anticipate them playing with more desire on Sunday? I guess we'll find out, right? If the team comes out energetic, plays hard, maybe it was more quitting on Shane. Maybe it's getting up for this Packers game. Like, you would think even if you just want this coach out, you would get up for this game. It is the Packers. Coming into your building, you don't want them to embarrass you because you know your fans are you're gonna hear it from your fans. But yeah, we'll find out. Especially if they get down early, Michael. Like, is this team gonna fold on Sunday? Feels like it's possible. If you want to support Bears Now, the easiest way to do it is to subscribe to the channel, watch our content. So hit that sub button, the notifications if you want to turn those on as well. It'll tell you exactly when we go live and when we publish videos. So go ahead and rock and roll with us here on this channel. Steven, appreciate the 5. McVay likes Thomas Brown. Does that change anything for you? They may not change the wheel, but they do. Will they do the little things better? Yeah, I talked about that earlier outside of this mailbag. Sean McVay has been very vocal of Thomas Brown. He made him his assistant head coach just 1 year on the job for Brown on the job in LA. So, I mean, that does tell me something that he's got leadership skills, which Shane Waldron clearly didn't. Now, from a scheme standpoint, calling the plays, I don't know. In his limited play calling last year in Carolina, it didn't look that good. Carolina was obviously a joke and didn't have much talent, so I don't know how much there is to take away from that. I do think from a leadership, command the room standpoint, he'll be an upgrade. After that, I don't know. I think it's more of just you had to do something, so this is the move they made. Mystic Dog, Waldron was fired for bad optics, laughing, not being bad at his job. I mean, has he been good at the job? What can we point to that he's been good at the job? I'm not saying he never schemed anyone open. I'm not saying his quarterback played well for him. I'm not saying any of that. But the run game got worse under him. The pass game has been slightly better overall compared to Justin Fields, but it should be a lot better with this quarterback and these receivers. He's not someone who commands the room, apparently. That's an issue. Yeah, obviously him laughing in the middle of a blowout loss at home is a bad look, but I don't think that clip got him fired. I think he got fired because they refused to fire the head coach, but they had to do something. I think that's why he got fired. Prize Picks is the place to go if you want to play daily fantasy in North America. Get signed up today at prizepicks.com/CLNS. The code CLNS will get you a $50 bonus when you play for just $5. With Prize Picks, you can earn up to 100 times your money with as few as 4 correct picks right now. Get started today. Like I said, prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. The way you set your lineups is simple. You pick 2 or more players, as long as they're at least 2 players on 2 different teams, and choose more or less on the different stat projections available. Points, rebounds, assists, if we're talking basketball, yards, touchdowns, if we're talking football, goals in hockey, soccer, all kinds of things. And you can cross over your sports within your 2 to 6 player lineups. It's awesome. I got a simple 2-player entry here. Jaden Daniels, less on his passing yards this week. Eagles defense has been really good recently. A.J. Brown, more on his receiving yards, 5 to win 15. But again, if you're a new customer, you can get a $50 bonus regardless if you win your first $5 play. Just use code CLNS when you sign up at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Awesome deal PrizePicks is offering right now. Pick more, pick less. It's Prize Picks. Link is in the comments and in the description of this video. Jason Kendrick, how does a coach have an 0-18 road record and still have a job? 0-18 on Sundays, Jason. He's won 3 times on non-Sunday road games. So let's give him credit here. No, but yeah, I mean, it's one of about 12 reasons why he should not be a head coach. I mean, he continuously lies about the culture. There is no culture. He can't get the OC hire right. When Montez Sweat doesn't play, his defense is below average. I mean, there's a million things to point to, and they just won't get rid of him. They will not do it. Christian, was Luke Getsy better than Shane Waldron? You know, I've thought about this more. I think the simple answer is both are shitty. I think Waldron has a better resume overall. I like it, regardless of the reasons, he at least ran a competent offense in Seattle for a few years. Getsy has never done that. But in Chicago, you could argue that Getsy was. At least I'll say this about Getsy, and it was even true in Vegas this year until they fired him. At least he had good opening scripts. The Bears scored a lot on opening drives with Getsy. Now, after the script ended, he's pretty bad, but at least he started off pretty well a lot of these games. They have not scored an opening drive touchdown in 9 games. 3 total points in 9 opening drives. It's a joke. What do you guys think? How many games will the Bears win for the rest of this season? You got 8 games left. I would say 1 or 2. It would be my guess. 2. I'll say 2. I think you'll win one divisional game, and you probably get the Seattle game. Like maybe you win that game short week at home after Christmas. That benefits the home team versus the road team flying across the country. But I'd be shocked if it was more than 2. Titus Hodges, do we see Tyson Bagent in the second half of Green Bay if Caleb struggles? I do think that's on the table. I'm not on team bench Caleb. I get he's been bad. I just think having him work through these struggles is valuable. Now, if he continues to take major hits and they can't protect him and he's still struggling, maybe there's value at some point in just sitting him down for a game or 2. I'm not there right now. Maybe I'll feel differently 2 quarters into Green Bay. I don't know. I do think it's on the table at some point happening. Again, would I do it? No. And by the way, let's just make one thing clear. And some of you guys think Caleb sucks. He's never going to be good. Fair. Whatever. That's your opinion. If it gets to a point where they have to bench Caleb Williams for any reason, that is on the organization. Period. End of story. That is an organizational failure. I think even Caleb haters would agree with that for the most part. Tyler, what if Thomas Brown comes in and kills it, offense looks great, then what? I don't know. Like, what if I win the lottery today? You'll probably never see me again. But I'm not saying winning the lottery is more likely than this happening. My point is like, I'm just not going to get my hopes up too much. Now, I think he's going to be a better leader. I think he's going to command the room better, communicate better, and there's value in that. Can he be a better play caller? Can he scheme things up better? I don't know. It's still going to be the same offense. Now, he might ditch some plays, add some plays, utilize personnel different, and all those things need to happen, and all those things can help. But him killing it, like, if this offense was a top 10 unit the final 8 games of the year, that would be a miracle based on what we've seen. So, listen, if he does it, awesome. We have a different conversation, but let's see the guy coach a couple games before we're doing a Super Bowl parade in Chicago. All right, thank you guys so much for the questions, all good ones. At HGramNFL, Twitter and Instagram. If you have any more questions, you can hit me up over there on those platforms. Still have a lot of DMs to catch up on. I promise I will get to those. At HGramNFL, Twitter, Insta. Shout out to the real ones. Ennixon Harrison, the GOAT. What's up? What's up, Ennixon? Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us.
Real one.
Let me get a couple more Siggies in here. If you're just joining us, just because Waldron's been fired doesn't mean the Fire Flus petition ends. Not even close. So $5 or more gets you on it. Mystic Dog, you get in there as well. We've already got Dennis in there, but we'll get his super chat on again. He said, I think us subscribers would love to see you and Cullen rebuild the Bears on Madden franchise. Not sure if Chat Sports Will Love You would pay to see. I mean, we get a lot of freedom here, so I mean, we could also just do like a video segment where we just this is how I would fix the team. But yeah, we could do something like that, especially once the offseason gets here. But
no, for sure. I mean, listen, some people really like the Madden series that we did. I don't know how we would incorporate that into a video, but I'd be down.
Be fun.
It'd be fun.
I think the easiest way to do it would just be to go live. Like, I don't think it's like a segment, and you just like
I would just go through
hop into Madden, and you're just like, all right, we're wheeling and dealing here, baby. Let's go. All right. Again, subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to stay live, we can shoot the shit for a little bit longer. Fire in some questions. I'll tell you what, we just crossed $100 in super chats.
We just did. Yep.
How about this? You want to throw a 5-minute shot clock up, Colin?
Got you.
If we get to 200 total, if we double this number in the next 5 minutes, because we're having construction right now, studio space is limited at Chat Sports. So, you know, if we're just talking and not having, you know, not getting valuable stuff out of this, not that it wouldn't be valuable, We may have to free up the studio. But if we get to $200 in the next 5 minutes, shot clock right there, we can start it now. I will do. You want to do a beer bong race? Get to 200. Beer bong race. Get to 200. All right.
Yeah.
In the meantime, keep firing questions. # Bears Super Chat. We can. We can rock and roll. Cody says, "Smash that like button." We agree.
We agree.
We appreciate it.
You want to maybe take some shots too? If you want to donate, say they can't donate 100 or whatever.
Sure.
How much?
Every $10.
Every $10 shots?
All right.
All right.
Down.
Keep the show rolling.
Every $10 super chat. Paleo. He's firing away.
Get him up there in a sec.
Shout out to Paleo. Says, I remember from the final Nagy days, pace was barely seen. Lack of polls talk kind of feels similar. Are the McCaskies not letting him talk to the media? I don't know. I don't know. It's not necessarily standard practice for the GM to just hold press conferences all the time, but I do think it's an opportunity for polls to just do an interview with one of the local radio stations, do a TV, just call a presser and say, listen, we hear the noise. We understand what's going on right now. This is what we're doing right now, and this is why. I think there would, you would get some goodwill if you did that, but they don't seem that interested in doing that. Appreciate it, Paleo. You got Mark Turner. You get on here. Fireflus petition.
He says, this proves Chicago does not develop quarterback, and it's sad.
Yeah, I mean, what evidence do we have that could suggest otherwise? Now, again, doesn't mean you've always picked the right quarterbacks. Doesn't mean the quarterbacks you've had don't carry blame. But regardless of what you've done, you have not created good environments for quarterbacks to develop. That is very clear. Now, I think the great ones can overcome some dysfunction. And up to this point, Caleb has not been that. It's very small sample size. But you've got to make it easier on these guys coming in here. You just do. You just do. John T. GE on the Alt 22 is laughable. Get him out now. Yeah, Gerald Everett, he's a joke. He's done nothing. He's done nothing. He's going through the motions. He's going through the motions. I'm with you. Got another one coming in. Appreciate you. We're up to 123, by the way. Big Block Chevelle, not that it matters, but I wish the coaches would have some fire in them. I watched the Lions game, and their coaches are yelling and running on and off the field with the team. We have no energy. Yeah, I mean, listen, that Lions-Texans game, if that's not the difference between these two teams, and obviously they're more talented, I get all that, but no one would have blamed Detroit calling if they not folded, but kind of was just like, it's not our night. We're just, we're going to lose this game. It is what it is. We're 7-2, no big deal. But they just keep coming. They stay in it mentally. They scrap. The defense makes plays, and the offense finally gets going, and they go win the game. That's coaching. That's a culture.
Yep.
That. When you have a good culture, you never bail on a game. Doesn't mean you're going to win every week. Doesn't mean you're going to play well every week. Doesn't mean you're going to be well coached every game. But when you have that culture set, and the Bears think they do not, you always have that belief that you have a chance. And the Lions have created that, and the Bears are nowhere close to that.
No.
Nowhere close.
Which, it's crazy because it's, it shouldn't be that way. And the Bears have had multiple opportunities, multiple chances with high quarterbacks that they've drafted. Now, again, different levels of talent. We can all agree between Trubisky, Fields, and Caleb, obviously. But
yeah, look, Mitch, I'm not sure he works out at a high level anywhere. Do I think he could have maybe been a serviceable starter if he went to a better situation? Yeah. I think that could have happened. Do I think Fields could have been a pretty good starter in a better situation? Yeah, I do. This guy was not trigger shy his rookie year, and then Flus comes in, conservative defensive coach. The guy is scared to throw the ball. You're seeing it with Caleb now. He's just holding the ball. He won't throw it. That feels like the Eberflus effect. Hey, just play it safe. Punting's not a bad thing. we'll grind games out. Like, dude, let the quarterback rip it. He's a rookie. If he turns it over, it's okay. And this is why he shouldn't have kept this coach, Colin, because if you're Eberflus, it's job preservation. You're trying to win games. And if he thinks the best way is to just have the quarterback not turn it over, that's what he's going to do. But if it's a first-year guy, there's no chance he's getting fired. So you can just let the quarterback let it rip and develop him. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. So that's one shot. Jake, that's another shot. We'll keep this thing rolling here. He says, just because even though I don't agree with all your takes, your channel is dope, FGB. Hey, listen, we're not all going to agree, and that's cool. I appreciate the love. You guys have showed support. I don't want everybody to agree with everything I have to say. If you guys agreed with literally everything I said, what would be the point of this? Now, I think we can all agree that Matt Eberflus should be fired, that the McCaskies can't be trusted. But I'm just saying, if you guys can't all agree with if y'all agree with every take I've ever had, all of you, now some of you might, but I probably wouldn't be, I don't think controversial is the right word, but opinionated enough. So, you know, it's fun, man. It's fun.
It really is. I mean, our company's chat sports for a reason. You're supposed to chat with us, have that interaction. If it was just agreeing all the time, there would be, no reason for that. So we appreciate all of the support and also all the negativity, because at the end of the day, it's one of those things where we talk about it. We disagree. That's what makes this channel great. So do you want me to go grab just some?
Yeah, you want to go get a couple shot glasses. We each owe a shot. So we'll get that going. We're up to 133. Again, if you guys get us to 200, we'll do a beer bong race. I'll just read some comments in the chat. Truman says Flus needs to be fired too. No question. Yes, Matt Eberflus in the chat. Shane was the problem. I think Matt Eberflus in the chat, by the way, is the old Matt Nagy account guy. I think it's the same guy. Blink twice if I'm right. Ramsey, $5 super. We'll flash this on screen when Colin gets back in here. Jeremy Chugs just walked in here and made a fart sound. Ramsey says the higher Ben Johnson chants need to be allowed on Sunday. Also, did you see Cap rip Matt on 670? I think you mean ESPN 1000. But yeah, if you're talking about yesterday, Ramsey, when the phone was breaking out, I did see it. I don't know if there's a new one today. I'm sure there is, because Cap, that's what Cap does. He's a legend for a reason. Ramsey T, you're on the Fireflus petition. Shout out to you. So is Duran C as we start another column here. This is column number 8. 3 columns, 6 columns of signatures. Or actually, my math is way off. 9 columns, 12 columns of signatures. Column 14. The people want what they want, Colin.
Deserve it. And they're going to get it one way or another.
Just a matter of when. Durant says you can give this Bears organization every pick in the NFL draft and they will screw things up. FGB. It does feel that way sometimes, right? It's no matter what choice they make. If they hired Cliff Kingsbury, that somehow would have ended up being the wrong choice. It just feels like something's in the water, man. It really does. It really, really does.
It does. Cheers to you, Harry, for the end of the Shane Waldron era.
Adios, Shane. Cheers. Prediction, Shane Waldron will be back with McVay next year as his tight ends coach.
I can see that. He'll bring him on as some BS
pass game coordinator.
Something.
He will not be calling plays next year, but he'll be back with McVay or someone.
Yeah. There's no way I would ever let him be a play caller for a team that I run for ever again.
Yeah, he's just not, especially, you can't, I'm sorry, if you're going to be, maybe as a position coach it can work, but, if you lack basic communication and leadership skills, how can you coach in this league? It's not possible. And listen, I'm not like diminishing anyone who struggles with that. Like, people have anxiety, people have this, they have that. Like, but like, that's part of this profession. If you can't communicate and if you can't command a room, it's going to be very difficult to have success. Very difficult. Now, can he be like a run or pass game coordinator or position coach or whatever and just, help the game plans out? Sure. I don't see how he gets a leadership position again. I just don't see how that even happens.
Not a chance. I mean, you had what some people in the NFL would kill for. A talented number 1 overall pick QB. You had a running back that you just signed free agency who, if nothing else, is explosive whenever he gets going. And can also catch the ball out of the backfield. You have 3 wide receivers, 1 that you just drafted, and 2 proven commodities in the NFL. And then what you thought were 2 proven tight ends as well. Now, granted, the offensive line is underwhelmed. There's been injuries, all of that. But as far as situations go, I mean, we were talking about this receiving corps as being, a top 3 going into the season? Like,
I mean, and I'm sure people will say, oh, you're just defending Caleb Moore. Dude, don't even watch, like, A, go watch the tape yourself. B, go watch people who do this for a living, break down film, and see what they say. Like, DJ Moore's route running has been lazy. Not saying every play. I'm saying on numerous occasions. Keenan Allen doesn't look like the same player. He's slow, which is why, again, if he's going to be featured, it can't be on long developing routes. Like, I think something I would try immediately, Colin, is I would give Tyler Scott some snaps. Like, try to get some speed into this offense.
Yep.
Like, that was the one thing and why I think they gave Velus so long is, like, this guy's a burner. Like, he can break a game open if he can ever figure it out. He didn't. No harm, no foul. Tyler Scott's just sitting over there. Like, give him some snaps. Like, cut down on Keenan's snaps. Make Rome and DJ the top 2 guys and get Tyler Scott involved. Like, give him an opportunity. That's something you can do immediately. Doesn't mean it's going to work. That's something you can do immediately.
Yeah, here's an interesting stat to go along with the offensive line point. This was in the Ian Rappaport article that he just tweeted out. The resorts have been horrible in 2024, but also doesn't bode well for the maturation of Williams, who's been sacked 38 times, the most for a rookie in his first 10 weeks since Houston Texans' David Carr was sacked 49 times back in 2002, per NFL research.
If you're in a stat with David Carr in terms of how much he got sacked, because that was for an expansion franchise, Colin. They had no players. And you're second most all time. I mean, that is beyond embarrassing. Embarrassing.
Like I said, I mean, it's history-breaking stuff. Historically bad.
Unreal, man. Unfreaking real.
Wasim. Half-assed measures again. They should have fired everyone, but again, keeping Flus, nothing will change until while the family owns the Bears, F them.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to feel differently. It just feels like as long as the McCaskies own the team, there's going to be missteps. Can they bring in enough smart people to overcome those missteps? I don't know. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to cover this team and root for this team, but it's hard to have faith. It's hard to have faith. Matt Eberflus in the chat. Harrison, I want to hire you as my new OC for next season. When are you free for a Zoom interview later this week? Please advise. That's funny. That is funny. Gosh, man. All right. Make a little last call here. We're at we're just under $150. Tell you what. Go 3 more minutes on the clock, Colin. If we cross 200, not only will we do a beer bong race, we'll do another at least 10, 15 minutes of Q&A. Otherwise, we're gonna call it because I got to work on other videos. I'm gonna do a Thomas Brown segment probably. So Stay tuned, but 3 minutes on the clock. If we cross 200, we'll rip a beer bong race, and we'll do another 10, 15 minutes of Q&A. Otherwise, we're gonna get out of here. So, clock starts now. Shy Man, we setting up Johnson. He wants to be a head coach and offensive coordinator. Yeah, he did, not necessarily for the Bears, but he did come out and say, there's a clip of him saying, yeah, when I'm a head coach, I want to call plays. So if I hire Ben Johnson, I want him to call my plays. So, or call his plays, but be the play caller. So yeah, I mean that would be ideal. Whether he wants to come here, I don't know. I wouldn't blame him if he didn't. John T, where does a guy like Waldron go? Change industries? No, I think I said it a minute ago. I don't know. Some McVay Shanahan scheme team will bring him in to be like a position coach, I bet. But yeah, I mean it's not much more embarrassing on your resume than fired 9 games in when you were put in charge to develop a number 1 overall pick at quarterback. I mean, does that get worse? I mean, seriously, that's rough. Hard to erase that off your resume. Dylan V, in the case DJ continues to be a diva, what could he fetch on the trade market? A 2 in the offseason? I mean, if everyone knows he doesn't want to be there, he's still young and talented, but
yeah, he's what, 27?
He's 27.
Yeah.
I doubt you'd get a first for him though. You'd probably get maybe a 2 and a day 3 pick. That'd be my guess. You hope that doesn't happen, man. He's got to get this thing on track, man. It's been kind of embarrassing for him. A guy that's never been a diva guy. And again, you can not like the quarterback. You can think he stinks. You're a captain, dude. Mm-hmm. You got to be an example for this team. You've been the opposite. Yeah. Isaac, my prediction: nothing changes. Packers 31-10. Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and have some optimistic outlook on this game. I don't know what my score prediction is yet, but I said earlier, and I'll say it again: I would be stunned if this game was in the single digits. If you lost this game 27-23, I'd be like, I'm pretty fucking impressed with all the chaos going on. I don't see it. I do not see it. Zach, we're $40 away, 30 seconds left on the clock. He sends in a 2. We're caught up. Clock's ticking.
You guys want to stay live, do a little beer bong race, take more questions?
Otherwise, we'll get out of here. We'll be live again Thursday. We'll have videos today and tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
5 seconds. We'll give you all a little buffer. We know YouTube's a little delayed for some of you. Timothy says locker room still pissed off with Fields being traded. That was all flush though. All the guys, including DJ, after he worked out with Caleb a couple times, was like, yeah, this guy throws with anticipation. It's awesome. It's felt like he had turned the page. He clearly is. He's clearly not happy. Dallas in worse condition than the Bears. I think from a long-term perspective, you could say that just because they have bigger contracts, but as bad as they've been, this year, at least they've had success in recent years. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. More to come. I don't think it's slowing down anytime soon. Okay, Mark Turner with the 5. We got to sneak that in here. He's buying y'all 10 seconds. Someone wants to get us over the finish line. 35 away. Mark Turner keeping the show going for at least a few more seconds. We'll get his question on shortly. Fields and Moore were a dynamic duo, and they had arguably one of the worst passing attacks in the league. We've been over this. Yes, DJ and Justin meshed well together. The passing game as a whole, though, was atrocious. Atrocious passing game. Individual stats doesn't mean shit if you're going to be 30th in passing as a team. Mark Turner, I love my Bears, but the last 10 to 15 years has been shit. We haven't beaten Green Bay in years. The fact that they have not beaten Green Bay since 2018, I mean, you play them twice a year. You'd think you would just run into a win every once in a while. How could you pick them to win this week? With all the chaos going on, given the recent history, the Packers are just better than you. Yeah, I would be stunned. I would be stunned. All right. Time to get out of here. Thank you guys so much. Busy day. It's not even noon. Who the hell knows what could happen the rest of the day? If something crazy happens, we'll be back live. We'll for sure. We'll have at least one more video, if not two, go out on the channel, so stay tuned for that. My name is Harrison Graham. Appreciate Colin producing. Appreciate all 1,000+ of you for tuning in. We'll be back soon. Bear down.